Hello and welcome to another episode of Rallying the Forge. I'm Solymr, and in this episode we've got a couple things to touch on, and then we're going to dive into more decks from the Convergence League that completed up a few weeks ago. And the first thing we're going to talk about is we have an update and some news for the Creature Chaos event. So Lucas posted an update in the Discord. He's getting a lot of questions about how the format's going to work. So he's basically said if it has the creature type or it summons that creature type, the card will be worth 1 point. If the card references the creature type, it gets half a point. Each slot in the deck can only ever be at a max 1 point. So a card like Stegos counts as 1 point in Dinosaur event as he summons dinosaurs. Stegos himself, I think, is a warrior, maybe? I'd have to recall. If that's the case, I think we can open this, actually. Yeah, so he's a warrior. So he would count as a 1 point for a warrior as well. And he gives 1 point because he has the Pterodon pups or whatnot, or the Ridgeback. Those are dinosaurs, as you can see there on the screen. So he would count 1 for each of those. So with that said, you just want to put that information out there. I've got a Creature Chaos event scoring tool. We're going to run through that before we jump into the Convergence League decks. I have a little short video also posted up there. He linked it in his post, so you can watch that, or if you're watching this, you'll get the info as well. So this should, for the most part, there's a few special cases I have not been able to test yet to make sure they're working properly, but I would say a good 90-95% of decks should have the right totals coming out. And if you do have an issue, you can send me a message, send me the deck link, so I can specifically test with that deck to get it right. I'd appreciate that if you do find any errors. As always, check to make sure the tool is correct once you have narrowed it down to what you want, what you think it should have. Hopefully it's right, and we won't have to make any more modifications. But on top of that, he says the event will start on the 9th with signups starting next week. So he's going to be out for part of the week or all the week. I don't know if he's out of office or what, but he's going to start on the 9th. And I know there's the SolForge Fusion website has some signup issues or issues going on with it that they're trying to hopefully get resolved. If that doesn't get resolved, he'll run it through challenge. So we don't know yet where he's running it. So it'll begin on the 9th. You've got time to build your dino deck. Dinos are up first. So let's jump into the sheet. So I've got my collection manager open. I really need the Fused Decks page. I've got the sheet here. And basically what it's a blank sheet here. You make a copy of it. You go File, make a copy. We're not going to do that this time. But basically, you just paste your fused deck links, and then you run the script, and it'll do everything for you. So we'll just take, I can take all, I've got like 100 decks here between mine and my son's account. We could take them all, but it'll take a little bit longer to score them. But, you know what, let's just do it. We'll do all the decks, copy the links, paste the links, and then all we have to do now is decide which format do we want to look at. So we're going to do dinosaurs because that's the first one up. So you type in the creature type here, and it gives you a list of them. It's not case sensitive, but it is spelling sensitive, I would assume, so you need to spell the words correctly. I imagine you can copy and paste it, but we're going to type in dinosaur and then let it work. So it's going to return the owner of the deck, their player name in game, and then it's going to come back with the scores of how many points the decks have as far as cards related to that creature type. And for the event, it said you need 6 or more between your fused deck. So anything that's below a 6 ends up in the bonus point column as showing NA. So it's not applicable for the event. You can't use it. If it does have 6 or more, it shows you how many bonus points you would get for using it. So you can see here I've got a deck that would get me 3 bonus points, and I have a deck that would get me no bonus points. And this also, it's running, it still does the information for the other creature types we put in there. If there was another one that comes up down the road, let's say they wanted to do plants, we could add plant as a field, and it'll score plants as well. I just need to update the logic for it, if that's the case. But I only included these. These are the 5 major creature categories. And then the minion-based ones is how I refer to them. So spirits, zombies, robots, and elementals. Those are what the minions are for each faction. I put those in there as they're probably the next most common groups. But we can go down. We see a lot of NAs, a lot of decks don't have enough dinos in them. For this case, you can see everything that is 6 or higher, it highlights, so it kind of stands out for you as it's going through this. And like I said, I've got 116 decks technically, and it's going through. It's my son's account and mine. He's got a 10.5 scored dino deck here, a 10, a 10. He's got a lot of options with 3-point decks. Got another 3-point deck there. So I don't have any. I think you needed 11 or 11 and a half or higher to score it. Oh, so it sorts it at the end as well, and it's just going to go by the bonus points. Doesn't go anything else in any other special order for this. So it just does the bonus points, and then it's done. And now you've got in this case, I've got 14 decks between mine and my son's account that could be used in the dinosaur event. So if you're not looking to create something new and you want to see if you have something that you could already potentially use, maybe you built a dinosaur deck way back when and you just haven't had a chance to use it a lot and you forgot about it. So you can run through your collection and see what you might have that might work. So I could start clicking through these links, seeing what I like. I already have an idea of what my decks are all going to be like. I got 4 options, and I'd bet money they all have an Astraxian in them. So I'll look at that. Seeing we've got an extra week, I'm not going to press it. I will probably look this coming week at the decks to see if there's one I want to play, or if I want to steal one from my son's account and move it over to mine. But that could be trickier if they're not minted already. So we'll see. I could also look at making a fresh deck and try to get creative with what we come with as well. So a lot to look at there. Obviously, you don't have to do your whole collection if you don't want to. If you know the links to the decks you want to see, how many bonus points they might give you, you can just pop it in here and run it. And this is also good for, scientists are going to be starting sometime in April, warriors May, and then I'm suspecting mages June, but we haven't heard yet. Maybe we'll know more next week. My guess is mages, they're supposed to be the next legendary drop. I'm guessing they're going to drop in April as well. So we will see how that goes. But yeah. That's pretty much the tool. That's the gist of it. So I am going to delete this out in case anyone decides to copy the link. That way they don't have a link with all my decks and being confused on what it's showing. So that's for the Creature Chaos event. Again, it starts March 9th. Make sure next week you sign up once the link is posted. And remember, the top 4 in points and those tied with the top 4 will qualify for the final event in August, a $10,000 prizing event. So that means, roughly $10,000 worth of prizes. Does not mean $10,000 cash necessarily. So each month you can re-qualify even if you've qualified previously. One, that blocks other players from being able to qualify for the finals, but also gives you another deck you could potentially use. So if you've got a really great Dino deck and you qualify with it, awesome. You could also qualify with a great Scientist deck or a Warrior deck or a Mage deck or whatever the fourth one ends up being if it's not Mage, but I'd be shocked if it wasn't Mage. Considering there's only 5 major categories, and they've done 3 of them as legendary drops already. I'd be shocked if they picked Beast, but they might. So, or they could pick Spirit even, but I'd be shocked if either one of those was it. So, the better you do in all of them, the more deck options you're going to have, and potentially the less amount of people that are going to be able to participate. So just remember the scoring: 3 points for a win. Even if you win all 4 of your matches, it's 12 points. You could be outdone by people who go 3-1 and also get bonus points on top of it. If they get 4 or more bonus points, that could really cause a problem for you. Even if you go 4-0, if the pool's big enough and there's other 4-0 people, they could have bonus points that are going to put them above you. So there's a level of strategy on the points of how many bonus points do you need. I think everyone should probably plan to have at least 1 bonus point. That way, I don't know. It's just going to be hard. Going with no bonus points and relying on just wins, I think, is a tough strategy to go. And I'm not going to recommend it. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to make sure I have some bonus points. I just don't know if you go all in for the 5 bonus points, or do you just go for 1 or 2 bonus points, So it'll be interesting to see. Obviously, the 3 and the 5 bonus points can cover a win. The 5 can almost cover 2. So you could potentially go 2-2 and still qualify if people don't have a lot of bonus points. So it'll be interesting to see. Dinosaurs have been played a lot by a lot of people, seeing it was the first legendary drop, and I would expect a lot of good Dino decks. I think it'll be the hardest one to qualify in, if I'm being honest. So, all right, let's look at the Convergence League finals, and also I will have the link for the tool in the video description if you're looking for it. So Convergence League finals, of course, that wrapped up on the 21st, and we've gone through the top 4 players set of decks. We're going to look at the next 4 players set of decks. That's going to be Namrog, Redeyes, Anovis, and ThePuffinMan. We're going to look at what they brought, kind of analyze what we see when we look at them. I have not looked at them in depth yet, so you're going to get my kind of first look, and hopefully I'm able to dissect what they've got going on. And we will talk about, and I don't know what they necessarily used, unless I played against them. I did play against Redeyes in a very, very tight matchup. So I'll probably talk more about his decks because I played them. But for everyone else, we will just look through their decks and see what they've got, and then that should wrap up the video for the most part. So we're going to start with Namrog. We start with this deck here. It's Aloyan Utera. He's got an Ironbeard and an Oros. And I don't know which Forgeborn he used. When I build decks now, I always put my preferred Forgeborn as the first deck. That way, we see that. So he's got a double Rallying Apocalypse Drix deck. That's really awesome. He's got it paired with a set 3 Utera deck, so obviously we have to use each of the sets. May have needed a set 3 deck. It does have Botanimate in it. It's a Warrior deck, so he's got Forest Raid in it, which is nice. Predatory Attack, which is similar to Forest Raid, just a little different. Vine Lash would be the other card that falls in that category. So he's got some big creatures in it. I don't feel like this is his best Utera pairing for it, but at the same time, you're trying to balance between 4 decks, make it hard for what deck should your opponent ban, and then you're left with 3 other decks, and hopefully you have some good options. So this one is maybe hedging his bets on things where normally a Pocketmancer Drix double rallying, people might, depending on what he's got, instantly want to ban. So if it's too good with the Utera half, then you've lost 2 really good half decks, whereas you have a really good half deck here with maybe a less assuming half deck here, and your hope is that they let it go through and it's good enough, it works for what you need, because your power is really going to probably be in the Pocketmancer Drix and rallying combination. But at the same time, maybe the Utera half is more unassuming than I think, and maybe it's better than first glance gives it. It's got a lot of, I like the spell package, a lot of tools there for helping clear some lanes sometimes. You can use these types of things to keep your Pocketmancer alive. And he's got some good creatures here. The Guardian, Alpha, Behemoth, Bear, Silvercoat, Pumps, Beasts. You got a Beetle and the Guardian. So the creatures aren't awful. It's just not what maybe you think of when you're thinking of an Pocketmancer Drix deck with Utera. More leaning towards like a set 1 version. But no complaints there. Could be a very good deck. Next deck we have is a Necrium Tempest deck, and it's an RSC deck. So RSC is an easy one for a lot of people to instantly banish. This does have a Dark Heart Sorcerer with it. It's got a Creeper, a Reaper, a Gloom Reaper Hag, a lot of good creatures, Zymus. The spell package is not bad. Soul Reap, Discient Siphon, Free Plays Wrath's Will. He's got Thundercrash Field, Elementalist Ritual, Warbringer Ritual, so really good spells. My guess is this deck got banned a lot for him. That'd be my guess. RC, this type of pairing, he's got a good Necrium pairing for it with good spells, a Dark Heart Sorcerer. He's got good creatures in it. The RC half itself looks pretty solid. It's got 3 really good spells. It's got some elementals, some good creatures there. So to me, this deck is really solid, both halves. I could see this one easily being a ban. So not much to say there. RCs are all, for the most part, pretty similar. You're normally looking at the Necrium half to see how they're going to flip it for the most part. And his half is, it's got good creatures, good spells. I'll bet that's a pretty good deck. All right, so he's got a Necrium Utera third deck here, and it's a Krogaius Mantis deck. He's got it paired with a Circe. I'm going to guess he uses the Circe in this one, even though it's got AC3. You can still pull Krogaius out and play it with that. So he does have a Necromancer in the deck paired with Krogaius. That's a really good combination to have, especially with Army Commander. It really helps you be able to skip some levels on Krogaius, depending on the draw order. He's got a Shambler in the deck that's really good. He's got a Gloom Reaper Hag, good creature. The mech also can allow him to upgrade cards. So he's got some tools here to make sure. Krogaius is definitely probably his focus. He does have a Kindred Druid. My guess is doesn't happen as often. Doesn't get big or anything that often. He's got some other life gains. The Stegodon. He's got spells, of course. Swamp Moss Lurker, in case his health does go up, a free play. But it doesn't look like it has enough health gain in the Utera half to really be consistent in that regard. It does have a Necrovive spell. That's nice. But my guess is this deck is all about Krogaius. And it's a great win condition. They can only beat it through combat, and it's pretty tough to do that just naturally. So can definitely see this deck, that's definitely its strength. Although it does have, like I said, with Necromancer, he can bring a lot of stuff out if he gets to that point in the game. Even if he doesn't get Krogaius out, he's probably going to be able to get a pretty full board So not sure with only 6 spells, it's kind of low, but at the same time, it's just a matter of leveling up the right cards here to be able to later in the match be able to pounce on your opponent. All right, his last fuse is an Aloyan Tempest build. He's got a Dark Forged half. He has it's a double Glacier build. So he's got a Betrayer Glacier and a normal Glacier. So both decks are set 4. It's a 6 spell Aloyan Dark Forged half. His Tempest half is a Dino half, but my guess is the Glacier is kind of the focus here, and I don't know if he played this deck or not. My feeling is this is the weakest of the 4 decks. So that's why he had the set 3 Utera. He needed a set 3 Utera. So that's why he used the Utera deck with the double rallying deck. He's got a set 4 here. So he's got some other creatures that can move around, obviously, and a lot of spells, a lot of things to do with that. Master Machine can let him pump up a creature that he's going to play on top of it. And that's, he's got Darkforge Loyalty, can be a free play potentially, depending on the health. He's got some attack reduction. Shrapnel Armor can give armor and blast. Obviously, System Upgrade is nice. Upgrade a bunch of your cards. So he doesn't really have a spell payoff in the deck, but obviously upgrading your cards can be really good. You get Chant of Umbrook. You give your creatures a bunch of attack later on. If you got a Dinosaur in play as well, that gives them breakthrough. So that can be a really big swing in matches. So he's got a lot of interesting, good cards. My guess is a lot of the damage comes from Glacier or just overwhelming your opponent on the board. But I don't know if he played this deck or not. In my opinion, this is probably the weakest of the 4. So I'd be surprised if this was one-handed playing, but I don't know. All right, next we have Redeyes. And I played against Redeyes. So let's start with what I banned and what I do not know if his first round opponent banned or not. But I banned his Blotley Riven Veros deck. I've played against that. I played against it actually in the JedForge competitive circuit, and I lost to it. I don't know if I lost 2-0 or 2-1, but yeah, I lost to it, and I had bad draws. Excuse me. So this deck is obviously Blotley with the Riven Veros. The Riven Veros blocks from your opponent from bringing stuff back. Blotley lets you bring stuff back. It's random, but typically you can sometimes align that to be what you want. Something like Pipwick being out there, letting it die, then being able to bring it back with Blotley can get a lot of value out of that. There's a lot of cards here he can do that with, bring him back after it's been killed off, bring it back a Pummel Pack, and now you've got Pummel Pack back on the board. Operator helps your scientist bring back Gizmo minions. There's a lot of uses for it, a lot of good cards to bring back with it. If you're preventing your opponent from bringing anything back, it's not fair. So he does have Stroke of Genius, the System Upgrade, and the Aloyan half, which is really nice. So he can upgrade a lot of cards and get things into his discard to bring, or his banish pile to bring back with Blotley. He also has Ghastly Renewal. If he levels it up, he can potentially reanimate things later on down the line. If you got rid of the Blotley or the Veros, he can bring them back with Ghastly Renewal. So this deck, definitely solid. I won't say it's top tier. I don't know that it's consistent enough to compete at the highest levels, but it's definitely a deck where in this format you can get a win with it, no doubt. Your opponent, everyone's playing a somewhat handicapped version of their decks to an extent, trying to make sure they have 3 or 4 good fuses to play from. This deck he's not handicapping whatsoever. It's just sometimes it doesn't draw well for him, and there's other times where your opponent can draw just really well, and it doesn't matter what he does. So I've beat him a couple times. I've lost to him a couple times, but this deck combination is really good and can really get out of hand if you're not aware of what it's doing and which cards you need to focus on taking out immediately. So I banned it, though. I wanted nothing to do with it. But it's a really good deck. So this deck here, Aloyan Utera, it's a warrior deck here, set 2. Got a Betrayer Runescarred Pit. That's really nice. He's got this paired with a set 1 Utera deck, and it's got some... it's got a lot of big creatures, and I don't know. I don't think he played this one against me. Let me look here real quick. Yeah, I don't think he played this one against me, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty sure he played the other two. So it's got a captain for some warrior synergies, but the other half doesn't really have warriors. So I don't know if he just threw this together as this is his 4th. He needed a set 2 deck. Did he need a set 2 deck? He didn't need a set 2 deck. Yeah, I'm not sure. It does have Madla Winter, so he can chuck minions at things. But it does have a lot of big, good creatures in it. And the warrior half also has some good creatures in it that can also be pumped. Not really sure on this deck on what he was doing with it necessarily, but it's an Aloyan Utera build. Let's do this deck first, I guess. So this one is a sneaky deck. This has a Furious Shardback in it, but it also has a Betrayer Krogaius in it, which is really cool. I might have looked to try to pair this with something different than the Necrium half, but he's kind of going with the Hand 2 River of Souls idea of being able to bring back potentially Furious Shardback. You can also bring back your Hand 2, bring back other key cards, a lot of reanimation type ideas with the deck, I feel like. This has been a recently popular theme that you hadn't really seen a whole lot before of it. You'd see a lot of recursion decks with Necrium Utera, perhaps. Not a lot with Furious Shardback, but it's becoming really popular lately. And when it draws right, it's really strong. Obviously, any deck with Furious Shardback, with the Furious Shardback drawn at the right times, if it's able to live multiple turns, it's a really good card that can really swing a match. With this deck, they obviously want those same moments where it's the right time, it survives multiple turns, but then they also want to have means where they can bring it back, and or you pay some health with Hand 2 for killing it off, and thus you're maybe going for the Shardback instead of the Hand 2, because the Shardback's probably the more important card there. But River of Souls allows you to bring back a Shardback, and now you can potentially have double Shardback on the board, which can also be really bad. So this deck, definitely looking to do some of that. It's got a Sack Chamber for some hopeful life gain and drain. It does have Caller of Souls, so you could potentially wipe a board later. It's got some things going for it. It does have, like I said, a Krogaius. There's no upgrade means for it to bypass. You have to hard play it if you're going to level it up. It's got a lot of creatures, not a lot of spells. It's mostly because of the Tempest half, really, but like I said, there's a lot going on with this deck. I don't know that anyone's found a really great pairing with the Faeria Shardback deck with the Hantu, River Souls, Recursion type stuff, where it's really consistent, as that's obviously very important. But when the deck hits, it can win. It's really good. It can be a really good deck. So something to beware of, I guess. But this deck could definitely, like I said, it can definitely do some work. But it can also miss, and then you're just relying on your creature strength if it's good enough. If you've been leveling Corgaius up, that gives you another out later in the match. But if you haven't been leveling it up, just like Scorchmane Dragon, the level 1 is a 0/7 defender. If you haven't leveled it up, it's not going to be of any use to you later. So you've got to level it up if you're going to use it later. That's one of the hard things about the deck. You've got Scorchmane Dragon, Corgaius, and then Everflame Phoenix. The level 1, easy play, but the level 2, not so easy. So he's got a lot of cards that can kill tempo for him, but he can keep up with it with the River Souls and a Shard back and bringing it back type of thing with Hantu. So he's got things to keep it going to where he can get over that hump. And if he gets over that hump with all those things going, you get a level 3 Phoenix, level 3 Corgaius, level 3 Scorchmane Dragon. Those are all great cards to have out there and do some work with. But like I said, you take a tempo hit earlier on to get to those points. And if you don't want to take those hits, those cards are basically dead cards in your deck. So, all right. And then lastly for him is this deck. This deck was a massive surprise for me. I saw it as a double Darkforge deck. Obviously, instantly you're looking at the Blightmane Dragon. You're looking at the Biologist. I looked at his Sunders, and he did not have the reanimation effect. So, and that might only be on the series. I don't remember which one has it, but so he doesn't have the reanimation for the Blightmane Dragon. So I was like, okay, so it could just be a one-off, but it's a quad warped deck, which is pretty impressive in itself. That's pretty awesome to have. So warped gives your creatures, there's a cost to them every turn, but they have generally better stats. So a lot of big creatures. The Biologist, of course, is a really good Darkforge card, maybe one of the best. He does have a Darkforge loyalty. So looking at the deck, I was not concerned about it whatsoever. I did not think he was going to play this deck, to be honest. But he ends up playing it 2 times because he lost with it the first time against me, and then he beat me the second time with it, but in a close match. But this deck does a lot more work than you could ever imagine. So obviously the Blightmane Dragon, the blasting, the level 3 blast all the lanes. It's a really good card if you can get it to go off, if you can get that consistency with it. I've got a lot of good Blightmane Dragon decks that I'm still trying to find the right mix where it's consistent enough that it's got enough other good cards and stuff with it that even if I don't get the Blightmane Dragon, it can still be a good deck. But obviously its power is when you do get that off, it's game over. So his deck also has a Glacier in it, which is another card that can consistently ping you. It's a Vitalized Glacier, so free spell play, which is nice for him. One of the matches he got it on Forge like every level. So obviously movement can ping you down a little bit more as well. Scorchar here, just a little bit of extra damage to your opponent's creatures. And then we talked about the 4 warped creatures. So you got a Berserker, who's big. The Hammer Bear. Love Hammer Bear as a card anyway. Aggressive Breakthrough. That can be a really good card to drop. You got the Water Weaver and the Windspeaker. Windspeaker, of course, can move enemy creatures to his lane. Counts as movement for the Glacier. So he's got a lot of big creatures. The Glacier, the Blightmane Dragon, pinging you. He's also got Summoning Swarm and Storm Strike, which was a constantly difficult thing for me. So again, Blightmane Dragon, Glacier pinging you. He's got Stormstrike pinging you. He's able to potentially push damage through with a Hammer Bearer off Forge into an open lane. He's got a lot of things to just drag you down quickly. It's really surprising at how much. Even though he might be taking damage from the warped creatures or not, he might get hit sometimes, obviously. He's got the Biologist, which can ping himself, but then he gets minions out there and pumps their health up, which helps with Stormstrike and Summoning Swarm. Really good combination there for him. It really worked out for him, in my opinion. He does have Enraged, which is nice. He can use it with a warped creature to help clear a lane, potentially, because they're bigger to begin with. So if you're not playing a set 4 deck where the level 1 creatures are a little bit bigger on average, he can definitely take advantage with the Enraged. He's got the Lycanthrope, make things aggressive. Again, that can help him push something through in an open lane that you didn't expect. He's got, of course, a Marching Velocist, which has huge attack there to take out. It can chump block a creature and take something off the board. He's got a Bee with movement. He's got a Spitter. If you have something that can become exhausted, he can potentially kill it off with that. And then just the Glow Drone. But this deck did so much ping damage. It was hard to play against this deck. It really was. I played it twice. I got through barely the first time, and the second match I almost beat it. I had a really good draw, and that really made me nervous because I was worried I was going to get a bad draw in the third matchup, but then I ended up getting a really good draw in the third matchup too. But this deck did a lot better than I ever thought it would when I looked at it. I had no idea it was going to do the kind of damage it did to me, and it's a solid idea of a deck. Obviously, you could have more spells and less of some of these other creatures, perhaps. But overall, like I said, really, really good deck. Really surprised me, and that was part of the. I almost got eliminated in that round because I didn't do prep on opponents' decks to see what they might have, what I need to look out for. I know it caught me up with Carl with that. And I just, that was just life circumstances. It's not the end of the world. But this deck definitely surprised me, and I won't be surprised again by it. I even might look for, I've got some good Biologist decks. I might look to see if I've got Summoning Swarm and Stormstrike in the same deck. Or some other combinations that could be similar to that. So, it was definitely hard and definitely a good deck. And he almost took me out because of it. So, that's Redeyes decks. Like I said, I banned his Blotley and whatnot. So, next up, let me double check. I think it's Anovis I have here. Yeah, it's Anovis. So I did not play him. I did not play Austin. So I've played some of his decks though in the past. So he's got a Nova Elementalist deck here. A lot of creatures, one spell. This is an interesting combination here. So it's got tons of creatures. Only 3 spells in the entire deck, not counting the Rumblespark stuff. I'm not sure which Forgeborn he used. But he does have double Shambling and a set 3 deck. He's got a Caller of Souls, a Brood Skeleton. So it's an RC deck. You're looking at how can he flip it. He does have like a Sack Chamber in there, Infernal Ritual. He's got an Engulfer. I feel like this deck is going to flip the RC through Necrium with Shambling, perhaps, or just getting an Elemental through in some fashion. I don't see much else going on for it in that regard. This is this. I wonder if he put this together hoping people would ban it. I don't know that I would ban this RSE fuse. A lot of people just see RSE and they ban it instantly. I don't know that I would ban this one. I don't think it's good enough at my initial look here that I'm like, because there's, if they had if these were vampiric instead, that'd be much better. Shambling is still good. He should still want some shambles. But if he had some vampiric creatures, that'd be really good. But he doesn't have anything to proc it without something else dying. He could do Infernal Ritual to get it to proc. But otherwise, he doesn't have a whole lot of options. He does have a Commander and a Furious Warhound that can kill things off of his own. But yeah, I would not ban this. I wonder if it got banned a lot or not. But let's see what else he's got. So RC, definitely a archetype to build to potentially have it banned. Okay, so we have a Tempest Aloyan build here. And heavy on the spells for Aloyan. He's got an Allomancer, Overseer, Simulacrum, Assassin. So he's got 2 mages. Is he going for a mage build here? He does have some. He's got a Chaining Adept. That's a really hard card to play with. So you play 2 spells this turn. This card is free, and he's got to deploy. If you play the spell this turn, you play a spell for free. That means you would need 9 spells, or not 9 spells, sorry, 3 spells in your hand. He's got 9 spells. You would need 3 spells in your hand to not only play it for free, but also get that extra play for free. So that's 4 of your cards, all related to him. So it's a really hard card. Chaining on Adept is not the ideal play for him. But he's got some mage themes here. He's got a Elementalist, which lets him play spells for free too, potentially. Allomancer can help remove things off the board with the mages in the deck. I don't feel strongly about this deck. So the spells are just okay for the Tempest. Half there, Stone Skid, Lightning Brand, Conflagrate. Lightning Brand with the mage synergy there. Conflagrate with the mage synergy. His Aloyan spells are okay. Redact is nice. Energy Surge. Tech Upgrade can be okay if you got Scientist, which he's only got 1. So the other stuff's just okay. Is typical Aloyan. It's got mages, scientists, and warriors, and then it's got spells for each of them, and it's just kind of meh. It's got an armor card here that, this would be nice with a Yeti, Forge Plate Yeti or something, but yeah, I'm not sure if this was his throwaway deck, potentially. It is a mage synergistic deck, though. There might be something there, but I don't feel strongly about it. I don't feel like he's got a good finisher with the deck as well, so that's something that's lacking from it. Okay. Next up, we have Necrium Utera. So we have a Darkheart Sorcerer. We've got a Shambler. We've got Stitcher and Harvester. A lot of good creatures here in the Necrium half, except Apparition. So Shambler, a Geist, Darkheart Sorcerer, Stitcher, Reaper, Harvester, all good creatures. He's got Dreadbolt, Omnanam, Varix Embrace, great spells. So it's right off the bat, it's a good Necrium half deck. He has it paired with a Mantis deck. He's got a Swamp Moss Lurker, a Stegodon, Shifting Slayer, Decayosaur, Basher, so he's got good creatures. He's got 4 spells, Botanimate, Lead the Charge, Pax Blessing, Primal Surge. Primal Surge will be free with some health gain. He's obviously going for some health gain stuff. He's got Swamp Moss Lurker he wants to get out for free. He's got a lot of good stuff here. Lead the Charge and Pax Blessing are just okay. But they have situations where they can be useful. Drawn at the right times, in the right board states, they can be really powerful when needed. He's got Auros. He's probably playing Darkforge Drain would be my guess instead of the Nyx deck, Nyx half. So he's probably playing Auros with Darkforge Drain. He does have a Basher, a Stegodon, and he can toss that on for breakthrough. He does have, obviously, a Stitcher and Harvester that he can bring stuff back with. So he's got a lot going on with this deck. This deck is definitely the best of his 3 so far that I've seen. This would be my leading candidate to ban if I was playing against him. The last deck here, he's got a double Blighted deck. So I'm definitely banning the previous one. This one is, holy moly. He has double Darkforge loyalty. He's got Aloyan loyalty and Uteran loyalty. He's got 4 loyalty cards, which can all be free played. Wow. That's really nice. Then he's got a Call of the Forest and Entrapment. So just kind of meh on the other spells. But the 4 free spells can be really nice. You focus on your creatures. He's, of course, got a Descendant Biologist. That's been a common theme of the 4 decks is people, when they need a set 4 deck, they're bringing probably Nutera Descendant Biologist deck. I don't know if I've seen a Betrayer of him anywhere in any decks. Not in this, but anywhere at all. Could be interesting. So his deck has... He's got a Vicious Fortirex. He's got Vitus Sprout for some health gain back. He's got a Terrapath, which is nice. He's got some Beasts with the Tangle Bee and the Nina Pack Mother. His Alolan half, Dr. Biltabot, for augments. I don't know how many augments he has. None. He's got to have one in here somewhere, right? Aegisynth, I guess, is an augment for that, so Biltabot's not a thing for it. He does have the Aegis Blight, the Omen Seer, and the Prophet for his Darkforge creatures in that half. So I feel like this is more about the free spells, Alolan and Darkforge loyalties, than it is anything else. He's using the Biologist, obviously, to pump. So I'm surprised he didn't have a Drix Apocamancer build at all. He could have done that with that half, but he's obviously going something with the loyalty, the free plays there to get some extra value out. He's just playing creatures, and nothing stands out as overwhelming. He's got Terrapath and the Vicious Fortirex, huge creatures. Biologist potentially pumping out, filling up his board with some big bodies. So the deck doesn't scare me. If you take care of the Biologist as soon as it comes out, he can't really stack it. It's when he can start stacking the Biologist over multiple turns, and you're not getting rid of those minions. They get really big, and then you've got something, you've got to really sacrifice to get that off the board. But yeah, interesting deck. I'm surprised he did not have a Drix Apocamancer build for one of his Alolan halves, though. So I probably banned this one, and then he's going to play the RSC deck. And then I don't know which other one he used between these, the Mage deck or the 4X Loyalty deck. So my guess is he probably played this one, but I don't know. The Mage deck, maybe it's more unassuming than I give it credit for, but I just don't feel like it has enough mages or all the right mages for it to be super strong for mages. But I don't know. I didn't play him, so I just don't know. But this deck definitely was the one that needed to be banned. And if he was going to pair, unless he doesn't have another pairing, I guess part of it is he's got his Darkheart Sorcerer in this deck, but he didn't have any vampiric creatures. So if he had a vampiric half somewhere with some shambling, he should have used that here, in my opinion. But everyone's restricted by what they have in their collections, what else they've used in decks, so they can't overlap. That causes different issues. Sometimes you've got your favorite version of a deck, of a half deck, and you can't use it for some reason, so you step it down one notch, and sometimes it changes everything for you. So it's very hard for players to come up with 4 decks in this format that are really, really good. Most players are lucky if they get 3 decks. So, all right. Next up, ThePuffinMan, Cade, runner-up 2 years ago at Worlds. Again, I did not play him in this. I played him in November. I was paired with him, and it was I think it was like Thanksgiving week or something. I was unable to play. End up giving him the win, as I already had qualified, and it was my problem that we couldn't match up because of the holiday. But so I never got to see his decks. We were gonna play, but we never end up doing that. So here he's got a RC deck. That's gonna be standard RC. He's got it paired with an Utera half. I've seen this before. T-Mind had a RC deck paired with I think he had it with a set 4 Utera deck, and it was quite interesting. It's a very unique take on RC, trying to not get it banned, but is it as effective even without a Necrim pairing? So he's got a Mantis paired with this one, which is really interesting to me. My guess is he's going with Darkforge Drain here. Mantis and Forge Seal. He's got a lot of spells, which fits the Darkforge Drain. It's got Botanimate, Dendrify, Feral Instinct, Pax Blessing. So good spells. He's got a Biologist for a 2-for-1 play, Decayosaur, Delver, and a Druid. So it's a really good Utera half. And he paired it with an RSE half. I don't know if this got banned a lot because people are looking at like, well, how are you flipping it? Well, he's going to run you over with creatures is what he's going to do. He's going to have his creatures either break through with Delver, or he's going to somehow push a Elemental through. He also has Thundersaur he can use for breakthrough on top of that RSE Exalt. So interesting. He's also got Lightning Charge he can use to bring something aggressive that you weren't anticipating. So if you need to look at his deck and see what he's doing, how he can flip the RC besides elementals. And then once he does get it flipped and things, he's got things like Mantis and Forge Seal to be able to bring Darkforge Drain onto something. He could also use that with a Thundersaur or a Delver that have breakthrough and finish you off with it. So it's definitely a unique take. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as a Necrim pairing that has the right cards for flipping, but he's got it's a really good Utera half here. And then the RC half is for me, it's just a standard. It doesn't stand out as anything exceptional for an RC deck. It's just a standard RC deck. Not great, not bad. So interesting combination there. Then we have a Tempest Aloyan build. He's got a set 4 and set 3. This might be... He does have a set 4 there, so he didn't have to have set 4, but he paired it with set 4 anyhow. What do we got going here? He's got a Betrayer Cacklebones. Interesting. Don't really care for the creatures on the Tempest half here. The spells are okay. Mount of Heroes, but no Shardback for it. Ice Storm, Burnout, good spells there. He's only got 6 spells, so it's kind of low in that regard. I don't love the Aloyan. This could have been his throwaway deck. This is what I feel like it's got to be. He does have a Built-A-Bot deck with a Pummel Pack and Veilbite, which is really nice. Aryan Cast. He's got Aegis Synth, so he's got a lot of augments with this, which is really good. He also has Skyforge. He's got them all. He's got Veilbite, Skyforge, Pummel Pack, Aegis Synth. He's got 4 augments with a Built-A-Bot. Really nice. I know he had to use Tempest, and he needed the set 3, so that's probably why he paired that with it. But would love to see this in a more traditional build with maybe a Sumorg or something from a Necrim build with a lot of augments. Could be really fun. Spells are just meh. So I think this was his throwaway deck. I won't spend too much more time on it. Then we have a Necrium Aloyan build with set 4 Necrium Verlana. He's got a KC Kid with it. Soul Scourge Grimgaunt, Endless Hunt. That can come back as huge. Man, that could really go off. He does have a Vicious Plague Bearer, one of my least favorite Vicious combinations. He doesn't get that big. His Activate's useless if you're trying to use him as a big creature. His lower levels doesn't matter. You can sack him, no big deal. But the level 3, I guess when he gets low, finally, if he doesn't die, you can just sack him off. But that's 18 attack. You're taking off the board. So he does have a couple augments in the deck. He's got the Wit and the Harbinger. Spell-wise, like I said, Endless Hunt's great. Vampiric Hunger can be good. Withers, a little, it's okay. Sometimes it can be underrated. So it's got some removal with it. Sacrificial Strength to pump something. And then we've got it paired with an Apocalypser Drix and a Rallying Captain. So I don't know if I've played this version of his deck or not. I know when he made this combination, I saw it. He was in the queue wrecking people with it. He wrecked me with it. Just so good being able to bring back. I feel like he had a different version with it. But definitely Endless Hunt, bringing back warriors, bringing back the captain can be a problem. It can be great for him. And with Apocalypser on the board, it can be really good. He's got a Pulse Mage in the deck, which is also something that can be a good tool. His spells, Warmonger mod, nice. Tech upgrade, don't know how many. He's got the Researcher, but and then Cyprian Augmentation can be really nice with mages. He's got the Pulse Mage. Does he have any other mages? That might be the only mage he's got. But spells are okay. Creatures are interesting. I've got a Rallying Captain build that I can't get to work for the life of me. I've tried. I've got a bunch of different iterations of it, and nothing yet has stood out as consistent. I haven't played them a ton either. I played one of them, my first one, a ton. It's just not good enough. I actually played it in both of the 2 Convergence League qualifiers. I played it, I believe, in both, and it never won me a match. I feel like it never won me a match. It might have won me some matches, but it just wasn't good enough. And I don't know how his fared. His is probably better than mine, but his Alolan half, I think, definitely has better creatures than mine. But again, if you're not paying attention to what your opponent has, you could get caught off guard with all the warriors, not realizing the Rallying Captain is going to double pump them, essentially. So when it Rallying pumps them, and then the warriors get the pump from his deploy from being a captain. So really fun combination. If his is consistent enough, it's a very solid deck. Of the decks so far, I would ban this one so far, but I haven't seen his last deck, so we'll see what he has there. But definitely a really good combination and can really go off when it hits. It has the same problem regular Apocalypser Drick Rallying decks have of you need the things to draw in the right order, circumstances to happen, and when it goes off, it can beat any deck. Apocalypser Drick Rallying decks can beat any deck when they draw really well. When they don't draw well, they can still be good. They can still hang in there and sometimes pull it out. But if they draw poorly, it sucks. Then you have a really bad game and you're going to lose. These decks with Rallying Captains are the same, except everything's magnified. When they go off, they really go off. Because the double buff on the Rallying Captain, it just can be so strong if you have a board full of warriors. That one instance of doing that could change can win you the match, basically, with the right circumstances. Obviously, if you don't have a bunch of warriors on the board and you're not getting the double buff, it's just a regular rallying creature, and it's still good, but it's not as impactful as if you had warriors on the board. The double buff can be just so good. Yeah, 10-10 at level 3, 7-7 at level 2, and 4-4 at level 1. So, but it's a really good build. If you have a rallying captain, a Pocketmancer Drix deck, you should be looking to build one and have it in your toolbox. It's a fun build to play as well. Really awesome when it goes off. You crush your opponents sometimes. All right, his last deck. Oh no. Yeah, no. This deck. Oh, this deck is banned. This is the ban right here. Holy moly. This deck, he did so in 2 years ago at Worlds. He did not play this deck. He had given it to a friend of his or somebody. I don't know how they know each other. He gave it to somebody else to play, and they made the top cut with it. And I lost to them against this deck, and I avoided them in the top 8, thankfully. So in that Worlds, that's the one I got third in. I played. This was my only loss through the round robin portion of the tournament of the Worlds. I won all my other matches. I beat Stephen Walters, Hellkite, in the 5th round. He drew so horrible. So I beat him. If I didn't beat him, he made the top cutoff, so he won the whole thing. If I would have lost to him in that round robin, I don't know if I would have made the top cut with the percentages. I don't know where I would have fell in that. I might have still made it, but I would have had a much more difficult path potentially. But I beat him, so I had a pretty good seeding, and I got to the top 4, and I lost to Steven in our rematch. But Steven also played this deck and lost. His 2 losses were to me and I forget the gentleman's name who played the deck. But he lost to this deck and to me, and I also lost to this deck. And he had to play this deck in the first round of the top cut, and he beat it. And then he beat me, so he was kind of on this revenge tour of he beat the people that beat him already. I was thankful I didn't have to play. This deck was so good. The gentleman I played Dan Catlin in the top 8. He played this deck. He could have killed and beat this guy, but he didn't know if he could undo his actions already that he had done. Oh, my microphone cuts out on me. All right. So Dan Catlin could have undone all of his actions and beat him. Had he done that, I don't know if I'd already lost to him or not. And I think it changes the course of everything. Had Dan Catlin taken that opportunity to kill him and beat him, this deck might not have made the top cut. I might not have had to face it in the round robin. Could have changed everything, but he didn't do it. He decided, and he basically ate the loss because of that. But it is what it is. This deck, though, triple vampiric. It's got a vampiric patron for beast. It's got a kindred keeper, which is also wanting to pump beast, but also it's kindred, and it's got triple vampiric. It's got life gain. It's got a glow hive. Of course, it's got a swamp moss lurker. It's got, I don't know if he used Oros with it or seriously, I'm not sure which Forgeborn he used offhand. It's been a while. He has a Necromancer, a Creeper, Dr. Frankenbaum. It's got a lot of good cards in it, and the triple vampiric, though, and the life gain Like, he gets a board out there, and then the keeper and the patron keep pumping all the beasts. He's got a demon, which is a big-bodied beast. The skeleton is a beast. Glowhive is a beast. What else is a beast? That might be it for beast. I don't know. There's a creeper. Creeper's a beast. Patron's a beast. So it all works together, and they pump each other up. And like, what do you take out first, right? Do you take out the patron? Do you take out the keeper? Do you take out the glowhive siren? Which is also, like, they're all growing together, and it's so hard to deal with. And if he gets two of them out on the board at a time, it just spirals quickly. It is a really, really solid deck. This is perhaps one of the best, if not the best, beast deck I've ever seen and played against. This deck is awesome. Absolutely awesome. My guess is this deck had to be banned when he played Traveler. Traveler had to ban this deck. I want to know for sure if this deck got played against Peter or not, because this deck is really good. If he got to play it, even if he lost a match with it, if he got to play it a second time, I just don't see how he doesn't get a win with this deck at least once. This deck definitely would be banned. That explains why he was able to do a Mantis here, because this deck doesn't have a Mantis. He could have still built a different Mantis deck with something. He could have put the Mantis deck with the Drix Pocketmancer Rallying Captain instead, but this deck, again, when you're trying to build 4 decks, you're trying to find different ways to do things. This is definitely a different way to use the Pocketmancer Drix, and you get your set 4 requirement with it. For me, I tried it in the Convergence League. My deck did not have a lot of success, so I did not go with it in the finals. But yeah, this deck, incredible. Bookmark this list. If you get anything ever close to this, you've got something. This deck is incredibly good. And you know, if the guy who was playing this beat Steven in the top 8, if he'd beat him again, I don't know that he doesn't win the whole thing, honestly. Steven's deck and his deck were the two best decks that I lost to each of them once. They're my only losses, but those were the two toughest decks I played. I played both Stitchers in the first 2 rounds. I played this 3rd round. I played Brandon in the 4th round. Brandon's deck was, you knew what was coming. It was a matter of if you could beat him quick enough, and then he just had bad draws against me. He should have beat me if he would have drawn Kragais, any of the 5 turns before he actually drew it. But yeah, this deck and Steven's deck were just so good with the life gain and the board presence and everything. It just, I don't know that this guy doesn't win if he beats Steven. So, there was a level I was happy he got eliminated because I didn't beat him, and then I also had to face Steven again, and he drew so much better in our matchup, unfortunately. So, yeah, this deck would definitely be the one I would ban. So that's the rest. That's the top 8 decks. We've gone through them now over the past several episodes of Rallying the Forge. We did Peter's, obviously, and then we did the next 3 the rest of the top 4, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th players. Now we've done the top 8, and our next video next week we'll probably do all the remaining 7 players who competed, who made the finals. We'll do their decks, and that'll be it for the Convergence League. Obviously, Creature Chaos is going to be starting up over the next several months. We will be going through those decks. It's just 1 deck per person for that, so it'll be a lot easier to review, but we will definitely be going through people's decks after we see how everyone performs, and have that to look forward to, of course. Jed Forge Competitive Circuit number 2 signups are happening, so if you're looking to participate in that, you can go sign up now. And yeah, so looking forward to it, and thanks for watching this this video, and hopefully you enjoyed the insight on the decks. Hopefully whether you're a new player, an old player, somewhere in between, you saw some deck ideas where maybe like, I've got that type of deck, and now you want to go look and try to build something and mimic some of these really good decks that people come up with. You know, you never know, you might have a better pairing than they have. You know, they build the foundation for the idea and you improve upon it. That's one of my favorite things to do when I deck build, is steal from other people. You can't net deck per se in this game like you can in other TCGs. That's what makes this game unique. But you could definitely build in a similar fashion with a lot of similar cards, and hope that your cards that are different are just better, and you maybe improve upon it in that method. Yeah, a lot of decks we went through, 16 to be exact, but we've gone through, what, 32 total, I guess, so far, and we have another 28 to go through. So we're about halfway through, and hopefully players who are watching this get some good deck ideas, put some new fuses together, and go try them out in the queue. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Take it easy.